Disc Sessions with Pastor Lynn Blackburn.
Good evening, everyone. Come on into the room. Get rid of any distractions you might have right now, and let's focus in on the Word of God tonight. And make sure that you take time to share this class session with your circle of friends. The book of Psalms, chapter 91. I'm going to read a portion of this chapter, just a few verses. However, I would love for you during your devotion to take time to read the whole chapter. There's 16 verses in this chapter, and this particular psalm is a very powerful psalm for you and I to study. So I'm going to begin with verse 1. The scripture says, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." The penman writes, "I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day." These 5 verses are just a drop in the bucket in regards to this particular chapter that we're going to be covering not only tonight, but next Thursday night as well. So to kind of get the foundation laid here this evening in this session, I want you to look at a couple words with me about this chapter. Now, there is a discussion and a dialogue that could be had who was the actual penman of Psalms 91. Some believe that it was Moses that wrote this psalm, and others believe that it was David. I have the tendency to lean a little bit more to David writing this psalm than Moses. But whoever may have wrote this psalm, this is a psalm that is about a declaration and a proclamation from the writer. So when we dive into these verses, I want to pull back the veil and the scales that might be over our eyes, where we can get a good glimpse of what was in the heart of the penman, which I believe to be David, when he wrote this. This is a psalm that kind of reveals the heart of the man and the faith of the man that he has in God. Now, this chapter is about communion with God. It's about relationship between believers and those who trust in Him. Because we learn in this that God has a secret place, and it is a place that you can live in. It's described as a secret place, describing its complete security. This security that I'm speaking of is the secret place is for everyone who puts their trust in Him. Then the question is asked, what is the secret place, and where is this secret place? Where is it located? Where is it at? Now, follow closely with me. The question is, what is the secret place? The answer are those who live a life of communion with God, which are constantly are safe under God, His protection. This portion of it that I just read, it's not about poetry or lyrics to a song. It's actually more than that. It talks about communion and relationships. This chapter is not just something that you and I should just read about and then move on to another scripture. It's not something that you should just chant about it and then move on to the next chapter. No, it's actually a statement that is being made out of faith in God and toward God and about God. The Bible said in verse 1, he that dwelleth, he that dwell. The term dwell is not a visitational term. It's a dwelling place, a living place, not a place you just visit, but it is a residing place. Now, when the penman wrote this, he is saying, I am dwelling at home in God. He is saying, I have returned back home to God, and now the penman reposes in him as he is at rest. Dwelling place is the work that is beyond the veil, and it is for the ones who loves to be alone with God. The dwelling place is basically a place that is a solitude experience with the Almighty, and don't miss that. The dwelling place is a hiding place, and a hiding place are preparing places. A hiding place is like a dressing room for what I call greater purposes. And the hiding place or the dwelling place is what I would also use as an analogy, the parlor room where relationships are built between you and God. So this chapter should be an anthem for all Christians when he or she wakes up every morning, because this is a declaration of who you are and who God is to you. So, my friends, it is the dwelling place where your heart is being formed and your character is being shaped and your faith is being tested and your life is being stretched but not stressed. Don't miss that. It is in the dwelling place where there is no shouting, no dancing, no commotions, but silence. Hear those words. It's a place of silence. And it's in the silence that God will begin to speak with you. He will give you a nudge, a dream, a vision, or even through His Word, He will speak to you. Let me be clear about this. Don't let the quietness fool you, or the silence make you think that nothing is happening. I have learned personally that God does His best work in the silent season. I know that even the silence that you might experience might be hard. The door is closed and you feel like the answer is delayed and you feel like you're all alone. But my friend, that is when real faith has started to rise up in you. I never thought about this before till recently, but the silence in my own life has become a sanctuary. The secret place is not a place that you're just hiding from people, but that you're in a secret place because you are growing. Growth is like a plant. It grows when no one else is looking. Plants will grow even when the sun has gone down and darkness has blanketed over the plants. However, even in the darkness, it still grows in silence. The dwelling place that I'm speaking of tonight is like a soundproof room to block away all the noise, the external noise around you, to block out the drama and trauma and the opinions of people. The dwelling place is the place where the bleeding stops and the wounds are ministered to. It is where the heart begins to be mended. It's where the mind is to be made still. It is where you don't have to pretend that you're okay. It is where you don't have to put on a fake smile. It's a place where your secrets are revealed and revelations are given to you. The dwelling place, my friends, is a place where there is restoration of your resources that life has drained from you. Now listen carefully. Let me tell you something right now that's very, very important. We're living in a world that will drain you and steal your peace if you let it, if you give it permission. People will pull at your spirit. Problems and issues will tug at your mind. The enemy will whisper in your ear, trying to shake your confidence and kill your joy and rob you of your rest. But I want you to know God did not call you to be a slave to stress. God did not create you to respond to every rumor, to every insult, and to every delay, and to every betrayal. God did not call you to respond to every lie that was told on you. My friends, you are bigger than what's bothering you. Don't forget what I just said. You are bigger than what is bothering you. You might want to put that in the comments. I am bigger than what is bothering me. You are bigger than what is harassing you. Because this is the season right now where you have to train, hear what I'm saying, train your mind to be in obedience to God's will and to his purpose. You have to take control over your internal world so that the external world does not destroy you. Now, you don't want to miss this part, what I'm about to tell you, because this is important. The devil knows, whether you do or not, but the devil knows that your peace is a weapon to him. Again, your peace is a weapon to him. That is the reason why the devil will keep you easily triggered and anxious and offended and upset and angry about something that he can actually bother your peace with. Let me be clear tonight. Too many of us have built our peace on what I call shaky grounds. Our sense of calm is based on how people treat us. You live your life based on other people's opinions. You feel the need to be validated, seeking other people's approvals, the need to be accepted in every group. The enemy to your peace, my friends, can actually be other people. Those that you may be running with, people you're calling your friends, can be stealing your peace. Family members can be stealing your peace. Maybe you have surrounded yourself with people who rather see you stressed than blessed. You have people that maybe you haven't heard from in years just pop up out of nowhere who are toxic to you, and they all of a sudden started disturbing your peace. You get a text from someone that wants to know how you have been doing, but you haven't heard from them in years. And the next thing you know, you take the bait and realize it was a setup, and you fell for it, and it was the devil trying to disturb your peace. Now here's the thing. In your life, you have a plan. Hopefully you have a blueprint for your life. And then all of a sudden with those plans and those blueprints, then things went wrong. And when they went wrong, you became anxious and frustrated because things weren't going the right way. They were going the wrong way. And you became easily distracted and easily provoked and restless because it didn't go as planned. However, I want to stress, this is when you have to find that inner peace that you have on the inside of you, even when things go wrong. The inner peace, the secret place that no one can touch. And my friends, that type of peace that will not make any sense to the world or even to the people around you, because it's a peace that passeth all understanding. And to have this kind of peace, my friends, is to have your mind disciplined and trained on what God has said about you. You have to know who you are and whose you are. You have to know what is your mind dwelling on. Wherever your mind is, your body is. Wherever your mind is, your health is. Wherever your mind is, your peace is. Wherever your mind goes, your life follows. You're following peace or chaos. You're following stillness or turmoil. You're following calmness or anxieties. You're following hope or despair. You're following dreams or nightmares. Wherever your mind is, there is health or afflictions, riches or poverty, liberty or bondage. It is important that your mind is to be trained and disciplined on what God has already said about you. Now let me be clear about this. Let me tell you something about the devil. He really doesn't have to attack your personal economy. He doesn't have to attack your marriage. If he can just get into your head first, then he can attack everything else. He wants to bring frustration, not liberation. He wants you to be the victim and never the victor. He wants you to live in pain and in rejection and in abuse. And therefore he gets into your head to control your emotions and reactions to the insults and to the put downs and to the letdowns. And one of the hardest things, and I know this is to be true in my own life, one of the hardest things for you to do is to sit still in the middle of the storm. It can be very difficult for you at times to just sit still in the middle of the storm and fight. I mean, fight so that you do not allow the storm to get into you. You can be in the storm, but not let the storm get into you. You may want everything around you to be calm, but then you will learn that you didn't need everything around you to be calm, because you're learning now how to be calm in the midst of the storm because of your dwelling place. It is when you are in the storm that you realize this one thing, that when you're in the storm, you realize then that the anchor holds. It is during those times, my friends, to know that God, during the storm, was showing you in that dwelling place how important it is for you to learn that the anchor really holds. Now, I know, like myself, at times I know you were praying that the storm would pass. But God was allowing the storm to rage so you can stay calm in the chaos. Learning to stay calm in the chaos. Sometimes it is in the storm that you or we can lose our minds and we can forget who we are and again whose we are. I am convinced that many Christians have lost territory called the mind. We have gave up grounds in our minds because we relinquish our mind over to the enemy. And the purpose of this class tonight and the past 2 weeks and next Thursday night is to take back what the enemy has stolen from you. Take back your peace, your hope, your joy, your sanity. We're taking back our minds. We're taking back our lives. You're going to learn how to be unbothered by things that wants to frustrate you. Listen carefully. It's not going to be easier because life got better, but because you got stronger. Now, this is not the time to be acting like nothing can ever get next to you or nothing bothers you. This is not the time for you to put on a fake smile. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something that is deeper than that, something that you can get by understanding what it meant when the penman wrote about the dwelling place. This is deeper than your bank account or who likes you or who follows you. I'm talking about something that is deeper than theologians and philosophers can understand or figure out. I'm talking about where peace lives and stillness resides. And I'm talking about that inner peace that cannot be bothered. I'm talking about a place in your soul where chaos cannot reach. That dwelling place where your inner peace cannot be shaken or disturbed. Life is happening, but I'm in a place that I cannot be moved by chaos. I want to say that again. I'm in a place where I cannot be moved by chaos. Bless God. You are not shaken by the noise that is around you because of the stillness you have in you. People will not understand, my friends. Catch this. People will not understand this kind of peace that is in you. And the reason being because you're not responding to everything around you. You're not responding to every jab that is thrown at you. You're not losing sleep over who left and who stayed. You're not losing sleep over the fabrications that people made about you. You're not responding to the criticisms and to the insults. And people will be confused about you because of your inner peace, because they do not understand your dwelling place. They do not understand that dwelling place. They don't understand your silence. You stay silent, not because you're weak, but because you were focused. And I am reminded what God said. He said, "Be still and know that I am God." Who am I talking to tonight, right now? You got to learn to get still. Put that into your comments right now. Get still. Tell somebody to get still. You need to get still. God speaks in stillness. The scripture says, "For he was not in the wind, nor was he in the earthquake, or even in the fire." The Bible said that he was in a still, small voice. Now, I'm not suggesting tonight that you can't feel things or you won't cry or get disappointed or experienced letdowns in your life. But what I am saying is, when you're living in the dwelling place, those things don't have the final word. Bless God. Those things don't have the final word. And it's not because you don't feel the pressures of life. However, you have a peace that is deeply rooted in God and in His promises. Let me be clear. It is a peace that will not collapse under pressure. To others, it may look like you're being stressed, but you're learning that God is not stressing you, but stretching you. Type out, He's not stressing me, He's stretching me. Well, and this is a thing, people get confused because you're learning that God is stretching you in silent times. While others may perceive that you're going to be bitter in this storm, but then you realize you're not coming out bitter, you're coming out better. And people will judge you, and I know this to be true. People will judge you because of the situation, but what they don't understand is your interpretation of the circumstance. They see no way for you. However, God said, I'll make a way for you. They see defeat, you see victory. They see you being dropped, you see God picking you up. They see failures, you see success. They see the breakdown, you see the breakthrough. They see them walking away from you, you see God delivering you. They see the situation. That's all they see. They see the situation, but you have a different perception, and that is what peace will do. They're looking at things for what I consider at a ground level view. You see things from a higher level view, from a higher altitude. Disturbance can't distort, where disturbance can't distort your perception of the circumstances, because the enemy actually wants to alter your mind from the dwelling place to a place of panic. And if you're not careful, you will turn your blessings into burdens. You will walk around with thoughts telling yourself that you're defeated, and when in reality you're being developed. The storm that you're in right now is not a storm of defeat, it's a storm of development. The devil would have you to think that you're under attack when in reality God is positioning you. The devil can steal your purpose by trying to confuse your perception. He will have you questioning your worth, even comparing your journey with someone else's life. In fact, the enemy will have you to turn mountains out of moments, potholes into canyons, hard days into a hard life. He will cause you to turn slip-ups into a life sentence. But let me tell you tonight one thing. Let me tell you something about growth in the silent season. Growth doesn't always feel good. Enlightenment can be wrapped up in discouragement. Sometimes promotion comes after the hardest battles. Peace always comes after the deepest valleys. A pit can lead you to a palace. A park bench can lead you to Park Avenue. I will confess that growth can be painful. That's why God said, let your mind be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Listen to me. Your thoughts become things. You need to write that down. Your thoughts become things. Because your whole life is a manifestation of the thoughts that goes on in your mind. That is the reason why God has instructed you to have a transformed mind, because you must build your spiritual structure on the inside of you. That is your responsibility, to build your spiritual structure on the inside of you. Let me give you an example. I built my house a few years ago. However, the building process is still not over. When the last nail was nailed into my house, the building project was not over, because the next thing I needed to do is to protect what I built. Protecting my house, protecting my peace, protecting my joy. Do you know that protecting it is just as powerful as building it? Listen to me. Long before the enemy targeted you, God chose you. God did not call you out so that you can fall. He put in you everything you will ever need to serve His purpose. This is what the secret place, the dwelling place, creates in you. Because there comes a point, my friend, that your faith will be built up in the secret place, but also knowledge. Because there comes a point where we need to pass from faith to knowledge. That you no longer just believe that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the point of knowledge to say, I know He is. Knowing He is Lord, then your faith will not collapse under pressure. And you won't flinch when things go wrong. You're walking with grace, and you're walking with a steady hand, because you know who you are in Him. And my friend, that is just part of the process. When you're dwelling in the secret place, you will have a higher altitude over the chaos. When you have that 30,000 feet view, you will see God turning that mess into a method, turning that storm into a platform, trials into triumphs. And as long as, my friends, you could break away from the negativity of what has been happening to you. Stop looking at things at a lower level. Many of you might be stuck because you've been looking at things through the wrong lenses. You've been maybe magnifying the problem over His promises. You've been giving maybe your attention to things that are minor and overlooking the things that are major. You've been giving too much thoughts to opinions and not enough attention to truth. You've been allowing your wounds to dictate your next move. You measuring yourself against somebody else to the point you have lost your own self-worth. When you understand what the penman was writing about the dwelling place or the secret place, that is relationship in your heart with God on a daily basis. He will teach you how to soar above the disappointments and the setbacks and the chaos and the storm. Because the secret place will deliver you from what I consider that rigid conduct of tradition. God will open to you new forms of probabilities. I want to suggest to you tonight that you might need to look at yourself and stop poisoning His promises with passiveness, and stop paralyzing your purpose with bitter, and stop disturbing your destiny with anger, and stop sabotaging yourself with wrong thinking and wrong people. Know your place in people's lives. And when you understand when you know your place in people's lives, then you can act accordingly. And that's not pride, that's respect. In my opinion, there is two things you don't have to fight for. One's true love, and number two is true friends. True love and true friends, you shouldn't have to fight for. They come naturally. And that's something that we must comprehend, because you can be your biggest hindrance. Why? I say that because you become what you meditate on. Maybe you're feeding your mind on junk food, and while at the same time you're starving your faith. And the reason maybe you're defeated is not because the devil has that much power over you, but that you have given him too much access to you. You cannot be giving the devil too many opportunities to access into your life. Because when you are in that dwelling place, it becomes a defense to the enemy, because you are God-centered, which you give no place to Satan. The goal of the enemy is to rob you of your vision and your clarity. He actually wants you to look at the circumstances through those broken lenses. He wants you to see your life through the eyes of fear and not through the eyes of faith. You cannot have peace, and hear this, contrary to popular opinion, you cannot have peace with an open door policy. You have to guard your mind just like you do with your own children. You have to be the watchman over your mouth and over your life. Hallelujah. If you expect to live in peace, you cannot invite or permit every voice and every thought to take residence in your mind. You have to guard that gate. You have to take authority over your own house. And what many don't understand is you should not let the devil get a foothold over your thoughts and over your life. And in many cases, unwillingly and unknowingly, we allow the devil to have his way in our life, piece by piece, when we refuse to confront what we deem as small. Listen, it all begins and ends in your mind. What you give power to has power over you. Did you hear what I said? What you give power to has power over you, if you allow it. Again, contrary to popular opinion, you cannot have an open mind. It has to be guarded. To enter is invite only. You cannot grant everyone and everything access into your mind. You must guard your mind. Every person's opinion, if you're not careful, can trigger a thought, and every thought can create a belief. And it is your belief that dictates how long you can run this race. Whoever has your ear has your mind. They have your heart and possibly your life. And my friend, that is too much power to give to one person. The only one that should have that kind of power over you should be our Creator. Here's a fact, and listen carefully. You cannot control the external things around you, but you are the CEO of the internal things in you. When you overexpose yourself to social media and overexpose yourself to people, you can actually contaminate your own mind. You are what you're entertained with and what you meditate on. Overexposure of your life can cause you to give more power to the problem than to the promises. Stop exposing yourself to everyone. They all don't need to know about your dreams. They all don't need to know about your goals. Stop exposing what you are hearing in the secret place or in the dwelling place. You can't protect your mind if you are too afraid to set boundaries around you. In other words, stop being available to people who are too unstable. Stop letting people who are wounded wound you. You're letting people who are bleeding bleed all over you. Stop making yourself available to everyone and to everything. Listen, come on in, listen. Everything that sounds good is not always sent from God. You got to know and discern what is from God and what is not. Did you get that? Don't let other people's storms come and flood your peace. I can see your storm, but I can't let your storm drown me. And you got to learn to be able to walk away from conversations that seems normal, but they're actually draining your joy and your spirit. Because let me tell you, the devil is moving, and he is moving in a very methodical way, creeping into your life one step at a time. His goal is to take away from you your purpose. Therefore, your mind is his target. And if you don't direct your mind in the right direction, it will drift away and wander away from the purpose that God have created for you. I can't say this enough. You must stand guard at the door of your mind and never feel guilty for protecting your heart, because no matter what comes your way, it beckons to get a response from you. And most of the time, my friends, when you respond to something that is stressing you, we respond out of our emotions. But that's how the enemy works. He wants you to respond out of your feelings, out of your emotions. But if you were to respond out of purpose, then it confuses the enemy, because your purpose is leading you toward the promises. And this is where we are at today and tonight. We're understanding that the dwelling place is the place where I am being developed. I am not being stressed, I'm being stretched. That God has taken me, positioning me for something that is greater. So I encourage you to take everything that I have spoken to you tonight, look at it, study it, and understand that you are the CEO of your mind. You're the CEO of your spirit. You're in control of the internal part of you. I can't control the external, but I can the internal. And I cannot allow the storm that's around me to get into me. I'm responsible for that, because I am growing, I am learning to be unbothered by things that's trying to bother me. So tonight I encourage you to stay steadfast in God, walk with a steady hand and a strong purpose, and not give up. Now there's a part two to this, and it goes even deeper than what I am scratching the surface with tonight. And next Thursday night, we're going to go much deeper in regards to the dwelling place. So I pray that something tonight that stuck with you and gave you some little nugget of revelation. The dwelling place is your communion with God on a daily basis. This is not just a prayer, it's a proclamation, it's a declaration that you can say out loud in your prayer time. It's not something you just chant and move on. That I'm in a dwelling place. I don't visit there. I dwell there, because it's a daily visitation. It's a daily communion with God, and I want you to be aware of that. That no matter what's going on in your life, you're in God's hand. So be blessed. Have a wonderful remaining of your evening, and make sure you tune in next Thursday night at 7 p.m. Until next time. God bless.
This has been an episode of The Desk Sessions with Pastor Lynn Blackburn. For more content, search Clinton Family Worship Center on any platform, or visit our website at clintonfwc.org. Thank you, and God bless.